I want to bring in Representative Marsha Blackburn, Republican from Tennessee. Good morning. Good to have you back on the program.
Good morning. Thank you.
Just yesterday, I'm sure you heard it, Congressman, President Obama defended the exchange to get Bergdahl. And then just moments ago, I want to play for you what we heard from the Senate Majority Leader, Harry Reid.
Opponents of President Obama have seized upon the release of an American prisoner of war, that's what he was, using what should be a moment of unity and celebration of our nation as a chance to play political games.
So I just wonder about the larger point, and we'll get to some of the specifics of the concerns that I know you have. Is he right? Has there been a rush to judgment, and should people back off a little bit until we really know what happened here?
I think the number one thing is to determine why the White House did not provide Congress with notice. And you have heard from Senator Feinstein, Senator Cornyn, Congressman Rogers. They didn't have this notification. The Speaker was notified 30 minutes before it took place. And Chris, that is not the way this is supposed to happen. And people are just understandably so upset about this. I heard about it this morning speaking to a Rotary Club. It was one of the big questions that they had. What are you going to do to the president? Why did he do it this way? Why did he do it in secret? Why does he think he can work outside the law?
Can I play the president for you and listen to his explanation of why this happened?
Sure.
Regardless of the circumstances, whatever those circumstances may turn out to be, we still get an American soldier back if he's held in captivity. Period. Full stop. We don't condition that.
And his argument is that the 30 days would have put Bo Bergdahl's life in danger. Let me ask you about the first part of that, and we can talk more about the second. The first part of that is, do you agree that no matter what, whatever the circumstances of how he got separated from his platoon, does the United States go in and try to free Bo Bergdahl?
Well, the thing is, do you leave no man behind? And no, you do not. And that's one of the reasons the American people are so upset about Benghazi. And the other thing, Chris, that concerns them is, why did you allow the Al-Qaeda to name 5 that they wanted back in exchange for the 1? This is an offer that had been put on the table, I think, in 2011, early 2012, and it was refused. And why are we going to start this? Does this change the paradigm in which we negotiate with nations? I disagree with Harry Reid when he makes his comments, and I think the American people have so many questions, and I'll tell you, quite frankly, what I've seen. Having a major military post in my district, this has injected a tremendous amount of nervousness and uncertainty. You look at what has happened with Benghazi, you look at the situation at the VA, you look at the president acting unilaterally on this, and people are saying, whoa, wait a minute, you know, we need to back up and look at this.
Well, let me answer that from the White House perspective, particularly because they say they followed the law on getting Sergeant Bergdahl released. NSC spokesperson Caitlin Hayden said no notice was required at all because the notice doesn't apply under unique circumstances, and that would include a health risk to Bergdahl. And also, the argument has been made this is not unique. President Bush claimed the commander-in-chief could simply bypass statutory regulations at his discretion. In signing statements, Bush challenged 1,200 provisions of law, including a torture ban. So is there a comparison there, a fair comparison, and did the president perhaps need to move?
I think that is what our investigations are going to show. I know that Susan Rice had her talking points. She doesn't have a very stellar record of how she performs on Sunday shows. This has caused tremendous concerns and questions from those who served with Sergeant Bergdahl, from those who have been involved in this process, from some of the military families that their sons lost their lives in search for Sergeant Sergeant Bergdahl. So as we go through the investigations, we will be able to answer that. The point is this: the president chooses to take unilateral actions through executive orders. He is determined to empty out GITMO. Even last week, I had an amendment on the floor that would have closed the Thompson prison facility in Illinois, where he wants to move some of these detainees. We don't want them on U.S. soil. They need to stay at GITMO. These are bad actors. They do not wish us well. What he has done is to open the door for prison exchanges, the president. What he has done is to put a price, if you will. It makes it very unsafe for our men and women who are still in these forward operating bases. There's tremendous concern from many involved in that community. And Chris, I think the unsettled nature that has surrounded this and the questions are going to lead us to many months of hearings, investigations, and trying to get an answer.
Representative Marsha Blackburn, thank you very much. I want to bring back in
Good
Charles
to be with
Murphy.
you.